Hello there, thank you. President Bush has said France is damaging NATO by blocking plans to strengthen defences against Iraq in the event of war. Crisis talks are being held this morning at NATO headquarters in Brussels to resolve the dispute. It was triggered yesterday when France, Belgium and Germany stopped American-led efforts to bolster Turkey's border with Iraq.
There have been consultations aplenty at NATO, but no agreement. One senior official described it as the most serious dispute within the alliance for 20 years. The Secretary-General, Lord Robertson, is searching for compromise, but he's been overtaken by events elsewhere.
This is undoubtedly a difficult situation, but allies have had differences before and they will undoubtedly have more in the future. What matters is to arrive at a consensus, and I'm confident that we will.
Is this a crisis made in Paris? Jacques Chirac has made it clear that he wants diplomacy to be given every chance. War against Iraq should be the last option. His Russian guest, Vladimir Putin, agrees. But for NATO, it means deadlock. France, Germany and Belgium say they're not abandoning Turkey at all, but they don't think the time is right to begin military planning. So the NATO ambassadors are meeting again here today, but there's little sign that more talking will resolve anything. France says that what's happening here can't be separated from the wider diplomatic campaign at the United Nations. But the Americans and others say no, this is a mutual defence alliance with strict treaty obligations. And if those are ignored, then what's the point of having an alliance in the first place? Chris Morris, BBC News at NATO headquarters in Brussels.
The United States has insisted that it won't allow the disagreements with Europe to get in the way of what it calls the bottom line, disarming Saddam Hussein. Last night, the White House dismissed concessions made by Iraq, allowing U-2 spy planes to fly over the country, as nothing more than stalling for time.
A final farewell, leaving for a war that has yet to be declared, but one that feels ominously close. As the military blocs are put into place, the diplomatic ones are proving elusive. Does preparing for war help the diplomats pursue peace? Well, America and its allies certainly think so. France, Germany and Belgium do not. Slowly, a wedge is driven ever deeper between old friends and NATO allies.
I am disappointed that France would block NATO from helping a country like Turkey prepare. I think it affects the alliance in a negative way when you're not able to make a statement of mutual defense.
The president's military and diplomatic momentum is not so much derailed as delayed. If needs be, he'll bypass both the United Nations and NATO. And as if the Europeans weren't proving a big enough headache, there's fresh news from Baghdad that will make consensus building all the harder. Iraq has finally agreed to let weapons inspectors use U-2 surveillance planes over the country, and also promised to pass a law banning the use of weapons of mass destruction.
These two subjects has been discussed thoroughly, and the Iraqi government decided that it is time now to give the authorization for these surveillance.
A move that's already been dismissed by Washington as stalling for time. Expect a stormy session at the UN on Friday. Ian Pannell, BBC News, Washington.
And in a further development, the Foreign Secretary Jack Straw is expected to dismiss calls by France, Germany and Russia to strengthen the weapons inspection team in Iraq as a way of fending off war. It's thought that in a speech today he'll say even a 1,000-fold increase could not guarantee the disarmament of Iraq's weapons of mass destruction. Other news, Australia's cricketers begin their defence of the World Cup this morning, but without their star spin bowler Shane Warne. The Australian Cricket Board has confirmed this morning that he's to return home after inadvertently taking a banned substance to help him recover from a shoulder injury. He was injured while playing against England in mid-December. Meanwhile, with just 2 days to go, it looks increasingly unlikely that the England cricket team will fly to Zimbabwe for their World Cup match. As Nasser Hussein's men wait in Cape Town, the International Cricket Council is today expected to give a written response to a request to move the match. The plan to reschedule the game comes after death threats were made against the players. More speed cameras will be installed across the UK following evidence published by the government that they've helped cut deaths and serious injuries by a third. The extra cameras will be paid for with money received from fines. Officials at the Transport Department say the funds will also allow twice as many cameras to actually contain film. NASA has recovered part of the wing from the space shuttle Columbia, which broke up 10 days ago as it re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. Scientists believe the fragment could be critical in discovering why the spacecraft disintegrated. About 12,000 pieces of Columbia have been collected since the crash and are now being catalogued by investigators at a hangar near the Johnson Space Center. Those are top stories. More from me at 8:30. Now Natasha and Dermot.